Welcome to All Creatures Podcast. This is Chris, and just to kind of set the scene for today's interview, we're high in the Himalayas. The air's thin. The mountains seem to breathe their own ancient rhythm. You're living with one of the most elusive animals on this planet, the snow leopard. It's one of the most endeared and beloved large cats in existence, and snow leopards are called ghosts of the mountain. But one of the things that we really like to highlight, and it's not spoken about enough, are the people that live next to snow leopards. The families, the herders, the communities whose lives are shaped every day by these landscapes and the impact that a large predator like a snow leopard can have. So today we're going to kind of talk about that story, and I want to introduce my guests. Tshiring Lhamu Lama from Nepal. Hello, welcome to the All Creatures Podcast. And also from the Snow Leopard Conservancy, the executive director, Ashley Lutz Nelson. Welcome to the All Creatures Podcast, both of you.
Thank you for having us, Chris. We're very happy to be here.
Thank
Yes.
you, Grace.
All right, first question, Tshiring, you're in Nepal and Ashley's back in the U.S. I'm in New Zealand. Here we are having a conversation about snow leopard conservation and the communities with them. But for Tshiring, can you take us to the Himalayas for a moment? And what does a typical day look like where snow leopards and your communities live side by side?
In Ndolpo, Himalaya, in my hometown, before I'm implementing some conservation project, local community, they're looking at the snow leopard's enemy because snow leopard kill the livestock. It's not one livestock, it's a mass killing. And then in return, they kill the snow leopard. And so far, I have documented like 11 snow leopard dead body. And then I feel like it's urgency to protect this one. Not only the like ecosystem balance, also to protect the livelihood income. So now I'm doing the both, like protect the snow leopards and also the livelihood income, like to protect the goats and sheep. That's the main major income. So to protect both, and we are doing the permanent solution is predator-proof corals. That's the 100%. It's a very, very good design. It took us like 3 to 4 years to build, to design concept and all the things to implement in the field. Now it's working very, very good. So far and that's village where we build the predator-proof coral. So far not killing, not mass killing, not any killing. I mean that not depredation livestock. So far not only that, and we will do also the immediate solution, because in Dolba is nomadic life. They spend the 1 month one area and then rotational grazing, changing from 1 month here, another month another places. So building coral is a good thing for the winter. They spend more than 3 months, and then other 1 month, and then we'll doing to protect both snow leopard and livelihood using the flashlight. It's a solar power as device. And it's give the like disco light. It's a multiple color to scare the snow leopards. And that's also working very good. I heard from the community, I have a bunch of 100 lists. They all need it, but I'm not promoting that one. It's an immediate solution. It's a good immediate solution, but it's not permanent. So I'm not promoting that one. Then we're here under the process to develop the Nepali made solar flashlight like that, but it's not completed yet. Under the process, a lot of things. And not only that, I'm doing there's lots of local youth. They finish the high school, and some local youth, they drop the school due to financial problem, and the parents like family problems, and empower them how to conserve this knowledge, but how it is important for us, not only the ecosystem balance, even for our life. And now so far we have 15 local youth already trained. After the film, there's a film lots of local community and also local youth that are not interested in the conservations. Most of in Nepal society, some people want to be doctor, engineer, scientist like that, and government officer. But these days, after the flip, it gives a big impact. Lots of local youth, they want to be the like Tenzin, like me, and yeah, and lots of local youth are encouraged, and I'm giving them empower, give the opportunity in the conservations, and rather than, and I'm doing the other main, it's like a Snow Leopard conservation track, not commercial one. It's sort of high-end trek, 2-3 treks in the year, just to give the opportunity to local youths and local youths. They feel how our snow leopards imported, because like foreigner coming, outsider people coming to see our snow leopard. Why not we save protect our snow leopard? Like sort of things, perception changing, and income, livelihood income, also that alternative like of income. That sort of things I'm doing. It's a small thing doing in my own village. Yeah, and
It's doing such important work. To break some of that down before I can get to Ashley, you did mention the film Snow Leopard Sisters. We're going to talk about that today, where you and Tenzing are out there working to protect snow leopards, and two women doing some incredible work. So we definitely will talk about the film. But you also talked about the corrals that are working with the farmers. And then just Ashley, I do want to bring you in. Uh, I was going to mention this at the end of the podcast, but Snow Leopard Conservancy does have fundraising ongoing now where like our listeners could go and look at the campaigns, and you can help fund these corrals, as I was saying in the US, corrals or corals, and, help conserve snow leopards directly.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So Snow Leopard Conservancy, so we partner with local conservationists like Tshiring to be able to implement the work, to empower her to be able to do the work and have the resources that she needs. So that includes, she developed this full impact campaign with the communities to empower them on ecotourism and protection of their vital livelihoods. And so we created this campaign to find a way to allow people to directly support her work in Dokbo, her and Tenzing's work in Dolpo. So, people can visit our website. It's snowleopardsisters.com is more direct. You can go right to the impact campaign and see what's available there. But anything helps, it goes a long way in Nepal and really at the grassroots level to make this lasting change. And we're very honored to work with Tshiring on this. She's doing a phenomenal job in a short time working with her communities, changing attitudes, and seeing the value of snow leopards and celebrating snow leopards. And it's not just about snow leopards, it's about the biodiversity and the health of the high mountains, right? And all the, the education that goes into that, and understanding every being's role in that ecosystem is important. And so, yes, I'm incredibly proud of everything Tshiring's already done, and we're excited to continue this work over the next few years to transform the whole region, which can potentially be a model for other landscapes, with its
Yeah.
success.
Yeah, like I said, we always talk about Nepal and the community-driven conservation efforts that go. And then, if you do save snow leopards, you're saving so many other species, protecting so many other species. Uh, so, Ashley, just really quick, and cheering also for you, when did you both realize that snow leopard conservation really couldn't succeed without community leadership at its core? Like old days conservation, what Westerners would come in and say, "Oh, you need to save these animals, and we're putting up these fences," and didn't even the indigenous people or the locals include them. Now we're like, last 10 years, we realize how critical it is where conservation starts in your own home and branches outward. Like here in New Zealand, conservation for me starts in my yard, my home, and my community, and now my country. Um, so when did you both have that realization that really communities were critical for snow leopards?
Tshiring, do you want to go first?
Yeah.
yeah, I want.
Okay, you go. Yeah, go.
Very, very good questions. I always realize these things, sometimes internalize also. For me, and what I realized during my work and before the work, the community can change the conservation challenges. Hometown, it's inside the national park, and it's a national park, but there's just lots of things is going against the national park. This national park wants to protect the snow leopards, established for the snow leopard conservations, but in reality, there is no conservation of snow leopards, and and uh, and then um um uh, I found the lots of research done in the our national park, our hometown, from ground level to genetic levels of snow leopards. But the scenario and the situation of snow leopards getting worse and worse. In Nepal, I think I have found that every methods of the scientific method they apply in that Foksundo, my hometown, Dolpo. But reality, it's there, still there, getting worse and worse. And then I found research that come from outside. They done the survey or if get gathering the information from local people and then gone, nothing coming back. Yeah, and then outsider NGO come, they did the projects and then gone. There is nothing. So what I have to do, and then find and I found we have to do our own community grassroots organization, so we can lead them and we can own them, and we can do like it's a sustainable way. It's a long term way. The angel come or if donor come or not, but we can do change the conservation challenges by our own. That's why community is important, because snow leopard is always there, community is always there. But they need snow leopard needs community, community needs snow leopards. So we have to do through the local leadership and involve the local people. That's I've realized, and then I found the perfect nonprofit Snow Leopard Conservancy. Their visions and mission is that, and perfectly match, and then we collaborate and going together.
Yeah. And you're on the ground. I mean, you're on the ground doing it. Like I said, in 3 days, you need to go back home and you're going to continue the fight. Actually, from the Snow Leopard Conservancy standpoint, when did like knowing, or was that the original in the foundation of the organization? Like, we need to work with the local communities to make this work.
Yes, and that far predates me. That that goes back to our founders, vision and mission. Dr. Rodney Jackson and Darla Hillard, they founded the Conservancy in 2000 because of the role of local communities in snow leopard conservation. They realized back then that you can have all of the policies top down that you want, but if the local communities can't serve, are struggling to survive and don't see the value of snow leopards alive, then all those policies go out the window. And so it was very evident to them early on that communities are at the heart of conservation solutions for snow leopards. And so yes, indeed, the Conservancy was founded upon that. And so and I largely resonated with that mission. I come from the zoological side, the veterinary side, and so I was working with the individual cats, um, tigers and cheetahs and lions, and eventually came to snow leopards when I moved to San Francisco, and that's how I got connected with Snow Leopard Conservancy. But for me, it was working with the individuals and not only completely falling in love with these individuals that I was responsible for their care, but then, really understand when I started understanding the challenges that these species were facing and facing extinction in the wild, I started volunteering and going out and working with
Mhm.
community-based conservation groups that were protecting the species. As it turns out, I really like working with people too. So it
Mhm.
was a really, it became really natural for me to move into that realm of trying to find solutions for both people and wildlife to coexist. And as a behaviorist coming to it from that standpoint, it's like we can do this. We know how to create behavioral change, and it starts with the communities, working with the communities, listening, understanding, coming, from a place of empathy and compassion to how they're having to deal with these issues on a day-to-day basis and struggling for survival. and so helping any way that we can. And so that's what led me to the conservancy, and it was really the values of the organization, and still to this day, I think that's really the big cornerstone of the organization are the values, and we share those with each of our partners, and who work then with their communities too on these goals.
Yeah, I think it's a model that's being mimicked around the world now and growing in importance. I think I really think it is, and I was very fortunate to be up close to snow leopards under human care at the San Antonio Zoo when I was doing my PhD, and they're just so majestic. They're just you just fall in love with them, and then for what they do out in the wild. And I guess I wanted to pivot to that because Tearing from especially since you're there in the field seeing this from a conservation perspective, why are snow leopards such a keystone species for the mountain ecosystems? When you conserve the work you're doing, conserving these snow leopards, what other species are benefiting?
In Dolpo, there is uh, snow leopards and wolf predators and smaller wild dog and the red fox and prey is a blue sheep. It's only blue sheep in the Dolpo, not Himalayan thar. It's found in the some eastern part of the Sagarmatha, Everest regions, and some also Mustang. There's our regions like high Dolpo, there is only blue sheep. So snow leopard is mostly the habitat is for 3,000 above meter above. So when we protect the snow leopards and the rest of the wolf and the red fox, they benefit. They benefit not only the other wildlife also benefited in terms of for herbivore, in terms of the grassland. The snow leopard control the population blue sheep and then the local community grazing the goats like benefit the more enough the grass, and that's the connection. And then other connection is when we protect the snow leopards and rest of the what's the data predator one pyramid, and the top we protect the
Hmm.
snow leopards, and rest of the yeah it's automatically, it's a biological, it's a ecologically the balance is or the and even benefit the local people, the like I told already that the grassland management.
Yeah, yeah, we've seen it. We've seen it at Yellowstone's classical example of the wolves being reintroduced and how it changed the whole ecosystem, controlling the herbivores. You're right, and it allowed it to flourish, and more species came back. Beavers came back, stuff like that. So I imagine that's going up in these high alpine systems. Ashley, what are the biggest threats snow leopards are facing today? And I know we're focusing on community involved conservation, but are there global forces beyond the Himalayas that are playing a role in snow leopard, survival? Is it not just in, Nepal, but outwards, other things that they're faced with?
Yeah, definitely. As with most of the other wild carnivores and wide-ranging species in the world, habitat loss, habitat fragmentation, linear infrastructure development that's not taking into consideration environmental issues, life in those plans, and creating roads without um, enough oversight. And we can understand that, right? Wanting or better access for your families to get to hospitals, but without the proper considerations, they're really disrupting the habitat. And so that's definitely a transboundary issue, right? And big beltways that are being considered between China and Europe to create better connectivity for people have a really big impact on wildlife, as do border fences and dams and military presence at borders, in areas where there's political tensions. So those are some of the broader challenges, threats from disease, from, free ranging dogs, predation from feral dogs at a lot of these military sites with lots of waste management issues cause, free roaming dogs. And that's now a major issue in Ladakh as well as the border between Nepal and China. And so disease from snow leopards interacting with feral dogs, such as canine distemper virus and
Mhm.
rabies. Canine distemper virus is completely fatal to all Panthera cats. So with only less than 400 snow leopards in Nepal, it can be a very, very big threat. But in addition, the awareness issue, the lack of awareness issue is turning around, especially over the last 40 years for snow leopards. But when you think about the other, species of cats, there's so many, 42 species of wild cats, and there's, so many people don't even know about most of them other than the big seven. So
Mhm.
that is turning around, but really competition with livestock, grazing issues, and then, of course, climate change, is being the most evident in the high mountains where landslides are happening because the ground is being destabilized. And so those are major changes. And those are, that's somewhere where we really need a global effort to really tackle these issues because this area is the water, Asia's water towers for so many people downstream. And so, yeah, there are many challenges, but the ones that we can truly impact are human related, right? And so, with that, working with local communities to become the guardians and protect their local wildlife while also becoming more economically resilient and climate resilient. And by improving, their well-being, it's really, I think, a model for conservation around the world to focus on human and animal well-being intertwined.
Yeah, no, I mean, you made some good points in there, and climate change is just, I mean, the weather's so erratic. You mentioned landslides. We just a week and a half ago here in New Zealand, we got a month's worth of rain dumped within 24 hours. Massive landslides. 9 people lost their life at a campground that I go to. It's really my backyard. Literally quick drive away, and yeah, it's scary. It's really we're living in unprecedented times. So when you think of these high alpine systems and this extreme cold hitting the U.S., that extreme cold, it can be deadly to animals and species and does impact their survival. And then you have these really erratic rain patterns and summers. And yeah, I feel for them. Tyrion, just kind of getting back to the community driven, because that's what warms my heart. So there's the bad stuff. Okay, that's going on. We're tackling those issues. We're fighting for these animals. But to the community driven story, I think is so important that we really focus on today. So, what did conservation look like in your region? I would say, especially for women, to be leading this effort, and I think that's such a powerful story. Uh, Being placed in the decision making process. So, were there challenges for you faced with that part of the world trying to conserve these animals, and especially from a woman's perspective, was that difficult?
Yeah, for women perspective, it's hard to convince their parents to. l- Lots of girls and women, they are interested in engaging the conservations. They want to be the conservationists and do the work conservation activities, but it's hard to convince their parents because in our society, it's a patriarchy society. The man leading the all everything and the father leading everything, but I'm trying to involve the 50 in my every project, 50% women and 50% man. And yeah, and then the film really helps me to do, like, impact, like, to encourage the parents, because it's celebrity and then they want to be the celebrity, and it's really helped me these days. Everyone wants to, oh, my daughter wanna be the work like a conservationist, and it's really, that's film give me like a, I mean, impacts a lot. Now it's little bit easy, but before it was so hard to involve the women. But but I'm still, every project I cover like 50% woman and 50% man. um and then that's the one challenging. And then the, like, even as a local people, it's always they heard me like a, enemy. You are protecting our enemy, snow leopards, and
Yeah.
they are the guardians of their livestock. I'm a guardian of the snow leopards. That's all. Our like all is upper, different, and these days it will be easier for me to giving them the opportunity and knowledge and skills. And the local youth, not the older generation, the younger generation, they really
Yes.
interested. Yeah. It takes time.
It
It takes time, and
it
it's a challenging. But for me, it takes a time. Every person wants to understand uh, conservation, not only conservation sector and every sector. Yeah, it takes time.
it
From my
it's
side,
ins
I'm always struggling. Yeah, to involve the women.
it's really inspiring, to be honest. I know before we recorded, you're like, "Oh, I'm just in this little part of the world doing my job," and I'm like, "You don't understand. This people around the world are gonna listen to this, hopefully see the film. The work you're doing is going to inspire somebody." One thing Angie, my co-host, and I always talked about, early on was you never knew who would be the next Jane Goodall. And, when she passed away, our hearts just were pulled out of my chest, last year. But she has inspired so many young people like myself. I was a really young little boy watching her on TV, and she inspired me to see the work I'm doing. So, Sherry, the work you're doing, you are inspiring that next generation that are going to pick up the mantle of those young women. I mean, many young women listening to this podcast, even older women, they're all getting involved, and so thank you. So don't ever think you're not making a big difference. You really are. You really, really are. So keep it up.
Absolutely.
Ashley, from the Snow Leopard Conservancy, do you have some examples of where conservation, community-led conservation efforts have made a big difference? Shearing was talking about the corrals and the light collars and all the work that she's doing. Are there some other examples that we might not be aware of where community-led conservation is really making a difference there?
Yeah, sure. Every program and every partners is working on something a little bit different, and it's tailor-made for their own communities. And so that is the beauty about this work is that it can be developed uniquely to fit the needs of the area, and there's a lot of opportunity to learn from other examples of what's being done other places. What comes to mind, we have another partner in Nepal that's working on school curriculum and trying to get that integrated into so biodiversity and snow high mountain ecosystem curriculum into secondary school. And so that's now getting picked up by local rural municipalities to get integrated into other grades. And so that's, one example and getting students, younger kids, out into the field to learn how to be a field biologist and getting them excited about learning how to use binoculars and scopes and so it really starts with the youth, right? And so I think that program really comes to mind. But in addition, we have another initiative called Land of Snow Leopard, and that's working with the indigenous cultural practitioners. And this is primarily in Central and Inner Asia, so Mongolia, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan. And so that is really centered around the revival of the cultural and spiritual significance of the snow leopard. And, I know Sering is working with the monks in Dolpo, and that's, similar to how this initiative is working as well to revive that traditional knowledge and restoration and recovery practices that indigenous communities have been the stewards of for so long, but not necessarily been involved in the large scale global planning meetings and been empowered to really be the stewards that they have been. And so that initiative is really important. It's been over 10 years in existence, 13 years now, and it's really gained a lot of momentum and traction. And the indigenous spiritual leaders doing programs themselves and getting into schools and starting these projects and having the ability to have voices at global forums
Wow.
and it's so very important. So education just on a different and in a different way, not focused on necessarily ecological, but really truly about customs and traditions and the spirituality, which varies per religion in the 12 different range countries. But there's commonalities amongst all of it in that humanity and biodiversity are interconnected. and building upon that. And so, yeah, there's a lot of different programs, but yeah, and I think that, Searing's definitely doing, with all of the work she's working on, it's creating like a really, really immediate change and lasting change, which is very impressive and very inspiring. And a lot of people are learning.
That's great. That was like I was going to lead into my next question. That's a perfect lead in. I do agree with you. We need to get back to nature. There is a lot of research, being a scientist, and when people are out in nature, heart rate goes down. They're more calm. Blood pressure goes down. When we're with the trees or the high winds of the Himalayas, it's wherever you are in the world. Being close to nature there's a lot of physical benefits. And so I agree. We had a disconnect, especially in the Western world, but there's a lot of disconnect, and reconnecting with that and the traditional knowledge. That was my next question for you, Tyring, was, how does that traditional knowledge or spirituality or culture, uh, how did that help protect snow leopards, like going back to that you are the custodians of that part of the planet that we all look to, and a lot of us aspire to go visit and see. But how did that play a key role in being successful?
Mm, it's very good questions. In our culture and in our community, um, there is a like respected people and high profile people. It's a monk. So the
Hmm.
monk said, "You for the community, you can do this one," and every community they agree to do everything. It's a if there's a political leader coming or there is some government officer coming, they do not agree because when the monks do or our the hierarchical spiritual leader like and like do something like this and then every community do that's the culture practices and tradition in our culture and and I'm not saying that scientifically it's protect the conservation but especially the message and then a way of doing their traditional they have a traditional knowledge like um to protect the snow leopards and to protect the rivers. We always offer and worship the rivers, worship the mountains, and then and when some mountains are they already sacred places. No people can go there and no harvest and no hunting and so protect the mountains and along the snow leopard also protected that area. So lots of sacred mountains there and that's really helps the snow leopards because snow leopard habitat and the sacred mountain habitats is overlap same mountain snow leopard habitat. So we protect the mountain, the sacred mountains, and snow leopard also protect. That's a spiritual through the spiritual and spiritual through the spiritual knowledge and traditional knowledge. That's that practices. So,
Yeah, it makes
so
a lot of sense. Yeah.
I'm promoting that way also, both scientific and culture.
So one thing, Siri, if I can come back to you, because Ashley made also another fascinating point. The younger generation, we have a lot of hope for them. They're green. They're looking at this, the climate change and the loss of habitat, animals going extinct, and a lot of them are upset, but a lot of them want to do something about it. And so when you go out and say show your film, and that Snow Leopard Sisters, because I kind of want to lead into that next. You said they were inspired. So what is that doing to the young generation? Are they coming up to you and the young girls? I think that's inspiring. But are there young boys in there too in the mix saying we want to be like you?
After the film, everyone's wanna be celebrity. I'm not just. This is my first and last. This is my first and last. It's really help my work, features my work, but I'm not gonna be again the another film and celebrity. But everyone wanna be celebrity. The
Yeah.
social media, even in the remote area, they have a network for network, and they social they wants to be the posts and social media. This social media triggering all the younger generation even in the remote areas. So everyone want a celebrity, and I tell you come be the conservationist. I have lots of project and not film character and then okay, one day I will be the celebrity. This is conservation celebrity. Okay, and come and every day like it. And even my son, I say I wanna be the snow leopards.
Yes.
Not you are the human, not animal. But we we have a pet cat, and then you can call that pet cat, domestic cat. You can call her snow leopard. Not you are not snow leopard.
That's great. But it's I think it's so that's so amazing, Ashley, that they're putting into the curriculum the importance of their animals. And I know here in New Zealand we have a very holistic education, and my children are learning about the importance of the Maori culture and then also our native wildlife. So I think that's incredible, and it is heartwarming. What inspired the creation of Snow Leopard Sisters, and what was the most important story probably to tell in that film? To get to your celebrity status, we gotta start talking about the film. It's amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I work for the non-profit organization here in Nepal, and then for 1 year, and then I went to every corner of the Dolpo, where even Dolpo they could never have been the hoarding sites, and I've been there and working and talking and gathering information with the local herders, and 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 I found 99% women are herders, and then they said they are the real victim to the snow leopard attack. I mean the livestock attack. And then I have done a lots of meetings, with the blazers, and every meeting there is a all men, and asking the information, and they don't know about the snow leopard attacks, the livestock depredation, and why you come here. And I need the women herders, and then found this, and then I quit the job, and I have no. I want to do the work with the grassroots level, not big organization. And then and then first I did like with one seed funding software from the Susan Hopkins and the Wendy from the US. They helped me to establish the snow leopard journey. And for snow leopard journey, it's like organized the conservation track, but I have no idea snow leopard sighting is possible or not. Then I went. Then I went to village, spent the 3-4 months winter that during the COVID time, and we found that lots of possibilities for footage, the snow leopard footage, so stunning, amazing, and then and also community asking community, it's a possible, and they say possible, and then and and then we gather. My sister started the media here in the Nepal, and then she has little bit skill about the video editing, like that, photography, and we work together. One small short film, like we call it a promotional. We that's a promotional video for the promoting the tracks of with the gold, and later some friends suggest us, why not you make a little longer to raise the functions, and then 2 minutes clips, we like little bit longer, 9 minutes, and we call that short film called the Snow Leopard Calling. And
Mhm.
and then we apply some international film festival, and even here we got an award. And then later my sister and I went to the one documentary, Last Honey Hunter, that made by the Beniers, which is one of our main director of the Snow Leopard Sister film, and we approached him. There's lots of snow leopard issues, and we have some footage also. If you want to interested in the documentary, we can really help you. And then Ben is leading all the Snow Leopard Sister. But how the Snow Leopard Sister film name is coming because I went to the every villages. Some villages know my name, Tshiring. And the rest of the village they don't know my name, and sometimes calling like my mom, daughter, like that. An older generation, a younger, they don't know my name, and they always and they're calling me Snow Leopard sister, like in our language, like Sawa Eji. Sawa is that's a Snow Leopard. And they call my name, the younger generation called every school, like Snow Leopard sister is coming. That's the Snow Leopard sister. And then
That's
later
awesome.
in our film name coin, yeah, the Snow Leopard sister. That's how it's come across
I
at the
love
end.
it. I would change my name. I would change my name legally. So I'm a snow leopard dude or brother. That's awesome. That's amazing. Um, I want to come back to you to ask about Tenzing's story because I find that very interesting. But Ashley, really quick on the film. I know we talked about it. I think before we hit record, uh, at film festivals, traveling around the world, hopefully for distribution. Did I get that right?
Yes. So the film, Snow Leopard Sisters made its world debut last year at South by Southwest on International Women's Day, which was phenomenal. And I think that you know the film spans far beyond about snow leopards. It's truly
Mm.
about the women and in the community. And um, I really, really hope everyone gets a chance to see it because it's the most inspiring documentary I've ever seen. The story that Sharing's and Tenzin's story throughout it, it really unfolded in a way that really shows, it takes people to Dolpo. And so the film debuted. Sharing, do you remember how many film festivals last year? It was over 10, I think,
20,
total.
20,
Yeah.
20
20.
film festivals internationally last year, and we're so excited it got some recognition, it got a few awards, and so we're still, screening it at film festivals, so I really encourage everyone to take a look at your local film festivals and see if it's coming through in the next year because, we'll still be entering to film festivals this year before it gets distributed more broadly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but, um,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That it's exciting. It's just I really want to see it. I really want to see it. And when I see these films, it just like again, sharing what you're doing, it just warms my heart. So Tenzing, really quick, she was like one of these herders you were talking about, right? And a snow leopard came in, wiped out a lot of their livestock, and now her family's facing financial ruin. But now she's out here fighting for snow leopards. So can you just kind of give us a quick synopsis on her story? Because she's one of your sisters now.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's many goals like Tenzin in Dolpo. Why we choose the Tenzin? Because before our films concept starting, season was just lots of siblings they were born, and season one surviving us I mean to tell in her family, and then once in the winter the snow leopard enter into the corals. The coral is a traditional corals, open and pour everywhere. Now our one is a predator proof one, but before there's all open, and enter and kill 45 goats in a single night, and then the lost their whole life saving income. And one time, one reason say why we choose her, because we wants to give her the opportunity and the flame. And then it's a coincidentally her father some problem with their neighborhood, and their grandfather, the neighborhood grandfather, was died accidentally. Her father some kicking this in the mountain, very slope, and one little bit kick and go down and dead. And her father went to jail, and the income she made from our film I used to father get out the jail. Now they are
Mm.
not in the jail. Her father spent I think 8 or 1 year in the jail, and now with their family home. They're home. They're together now, father, mother, and Tenzin, and them and we found Tenzin is so smart also. Third reason is very smart.
Good. She's doing the good work out there, doing the really good work. As we kind of near the end, Ashley, I just kind of want to take a wide view of snow leopards. Where are we today? I mean, they're listed as vulnerable, as low as what, 3,000 adults in the wild. Uh, what's the outlook for them right now?
Yeah, it's so yeah, our best estimate right now, there was a recent IUCN status meeting this last fall, and so every country, each of the 12 countries have a national action plan to do a census of the snow leopards in their country. And that's using a standardized methodology called PAWS, which is the Population of Assessment of the World's Snow Leopards. And it's quite technical. It's a good methodology, but it's important. It's a standard methodology. It's important to note as well that a lot of the snow leopards range hasn't really fully been accessed because it's these rugged, inhabitable terrains in the high peaks of these mountain ranges. So they're using this data to, extrapolate the best estimate. And so that's between approximately 4 to 8,000 individuals. Country, they are listed as endangered. The most recent assessment for Nepal, which was completed last year, the best estimate is 397 cats total, which is extremely endangered. And so we do work together. There's a global effort of the ministries of the 12 countries, and then there's, the national plans within that. But then, these methodologies are often, difficult to train, and it takes a while to learn. And you
Mm,
need a certain level of science background to understand statistics and sampling. So, we do also really value our citizen scientists, camera trappers that help within the communities as being the eyes and ears on the ground monitoring biodiversity, snow leopards, they're, wild ungulates. And so, there are ways that we monitor as well, success within the communities. But the snow leopard populations seem to be recovering in some places, declining other places. Overall trend is
yeah.
declining
Yeah.
though. But in some areas, you do see disbursement of, like you see with other wildcats, disbursement of subadults, coming into contact with communities. So there's like we're still not sure if that's like an actual increase of the
Hmm.
population or increase of human encroachment. There's a lot of factors that are to be determined. But yes, our best guess is our best estimate using the science is 4 to 8,000. So, when he puts it in perspective, you're going to have
No, it's tiny.
2 to 3 times that amount of people at any given football game or
Yeah.
soccer
Oh, yeah.
game in
Yeah.
the world. So it's all the snow leopards combined in the whole world could
Yeah.
fit maybe in a
It's
basketball game.
tiny. Over 12 countries in Asia. That's a massive range. Very few animals. That's always a major concern. To collapse this down, Shearing, what is it looking like in your region, Nepal? How is it looking for snow leopards there?
In Nepal now the reports and research says 397, about the 400. But some area is a Mustang Manang area that increasing. And that's I heard from the local people it's increasing. And robot side, so far I think some were increasing, some were declining. I'm talking about the in terms of the sighting times. Before people they saw a lot somewhere, some now it's not. Yeah, but I think it's a better than before here right now. Because before there's I found this 11 snow leopard dead, body found from the local people. No, this year not single dead found.
Yeah.
It
Good.
means
Good.
there is some protecting.
Good. 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 Okay, this is a throw it out there question, and both of you, if I could get an answer, but if the snow leopard could speak to us, talk to humanity, what do you think it would ask of us? So I'll go with you first, Ashley, and then I'll go to Searing, and then we'll do one final question after that. But this is the big one. Like, really, what would the snow leopard like to tell humanity?
That is a great question. Yeah, snow leopards are considered the deities of the mountain. The indigenous people that live among them believe, they the ancient keepers of wisdom and even elders. I think that they would impart great wisdom of peace and balance, ask us to do the same
Yeah, we need it. We need it bad. We need it in the 2026.
on all
The
levels.
sharing, yeah, it's a very philosophical, culture, spiritual question. So, what would the snow leopard like to ask of us and tell humanity?
If a snow leopard can speak, and I think snow leopard uh, uh, should ask the human, not call me the ghost of the mountain, call me the guardian of the mountains, and also the god of the mountains, not ghost of the mountains.
Love it. I love it. I am never going to call it Ghost to the Mountain again, as long as this
Yeah,
podcast is in existence.
yeah. Behind the reasons, that's scientifically and technically research and scientists, they says ghosts of the mountains in terms of the camouflage, their camouflage, the behavior, but local people cannot understand. I saw them the Snow Leopard magazine and the reports, and they say, "Oh, you guys here mention the ghost of the mountain. Why you protect the
Yes.
ghost like that?"
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
local people couldn't understand the ghost of the mountains. In scientific it's a camouflage. That's why scientists and researchers they always telling the ghost of the mountains, but a local community couldn't understand. So
It
they
does not
often
help.
ask me
It's
question, why you protect the ghost?
yes. I
That's
get
like,
it.
yeah. If it's
No.
can you speak? Yeah. Call Snow
Bad
Leopard, god of the
bad
mountains,
marketing.
guardian of
Bad
the
Ghost of the Mountain
mountains.
is bad. It's bad marketing. It's guardian of the mountain. And it's funny when we do these interviews, there's always something that sticks. Not only do I love telling the story of someone like yourself, but I remember Angie interviewed Sonarto many years ago, World Wildlife Fund scientist in Java, and he said, "Save a tiger, save the world." So coming out of here, you save a snow leopard, save the world, but call them guardians of the mountain, you will save a snow leopard. So I will tell that story now for the next few years. Uh, Finally, where can we learn more? Snowleopardconservancy.org. Is there any socials, other places people can go? I really want to push the campaigns you have going. I'm looking at them. I I'm definitely going to help fund this month, especially with any proceeds we make on the podcast. But one I love is training for 80 conservationists. It's only $1,000 for one. So when I get a nice little bonus check, I think I'm just going to shoot 1,000 that way, if I can, because that's one. Then I know I'm funding one person out there that is fighting hard for snow leopards. But some great campaigns there, Ashley. Where else can people go?
Yeah, so we come by our website at snowleopardconservancy.org. You can reach the impact campaign directly at snowleopardsisters.com. And yeah, we're on most of the social channels, YouTube, um, Facebook, Instagram, all the usual suspects there, and LinkedIn. And then also Tshiring has a website as well, snowleopardjourney.com. Is that
Yes.
correct? Yeah.
Yeah, yes, and then our Snow Leopard sister, that non-profit here in Nepal, it's under the development website. When it's finished, and I will live you guys or share with you guys.
Yes. And I'll definitely post all the links in the show notes. People just click on that, go below. The links will be there. You can always check us out on YouTube as well, and those links will be in there and thrown on the screen. But again, when I first said hello, I just want to thank you both from the bottom of my heart, for Angie and myself and our listeners. Your stories inspire us. We have all ages listening to the podcast, people out there in the field doing work too, but you inspire us all. And I definitely urge the listeners to go to the Snow Leopard Conservancy website, go to Tshiring's website, and check it out. Please look for the film. it's just a part of the world that just needs our attention because there's so much good work going there that we can learn from. So thank you both so much.
Oh, thank you very,
Thank you,
very
Chris,
much.
for
It's,
hosting us, and yeah, it's for this great platform. Thank you so much.
Yes.
and thank you, Steering, for all you're doing. You just inspire
Yes.
me every day. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care, you too.
Take care.
Bye.